The Bud Bowl. In 1989, Budweiser decided if we're going to make commercials for football, we might as well grab the competitor Bud Light and play a game with them. So for Big Game 23, they decided to do it in every commercial break.
January 22nd, Bud Bowl 1. This time, it's for real.
With some CGI aspects, it's majority stop motion. The players and some other characters like the announcers are bottles, while all the fans are cans. I mean, the animation's not something crazy, but it's pretty good for a commercial. You can even bet on the winner, just like in real football. Even going for the effort, including lore, like Spuds McKenzie is the Bud Light owner. Spuds McKenzie, the real party animal, was the big mascot for Bud Light. He is a bull terrier, which is the funniest looking dog. You think Bullseye, the target dog, is his parent? One of the fans is a bottle of a rainbow wig, which is a reference to a guy who used to go to a bunch of sporting games wearing Bible verses and a rainbow wig. A 40-ounce player, the Freezer, leads Budweiser ahead.
Watch how the free safety fakes a blitz. Says, oh no, turns around, goes back, they screen out the linebacker.
A perfect read, and that's the end of a seesaw.
With only 2 seconds remaining, Budweiser has the kicker, Budsy, the little guy that can. He kicks.
In a storybook finish, Budweiser 27, Bud Light 24.
Wait till next year.
Well, if you don't like the Hollywood ending, there's an alternate ending where a human grabs 2 bottles and ends the game in a tie. And it was pretty charming, and people at the time also thought so the next big game, they brought it back. Bud Bowl 2, of course being the sequel, had a little bit more money given to it. So more costumes and more locations than just a field.
Well, you got the big arm of Bud Light's Budway Joe versus Budweiser's explosive Beechwood backs, Billy Bud and Bobby Bud.
But the big question is how Bud Light will stop Bud's appliance of defiance, the freezer.
The cans are going wild!
But also, it starts blizzarding out. Bud Light has the lead. A fumble, a pile-up of beer, and suddenly, Budweiser wins, unexpectedly. With enough time to spend to have another ad unrelated. It was seen so positively, many joked that it was actually better than Big Game 24. So next year, Bud Bowl 3 was put together with even a prelude starring real reporter Chris Berman. Bud Light player Budway Joe receives an injury. The people are suspecting that Budweiser has a 3rd game in a row, but Bud Light has a whole new beverage, Bud Dry. I guess he wanted to discontinue himself before 2010 because he wanted to go to baseball instead. But just like Michael Jordan, with enough money, he'll go back to the original sport.
The game is over, we'll stand tall. The one light beer that outshines them all. And now that we got this superstar rookie, it's our turn to do the Bud.
Yeah, that's all for now.
Instead of betting on who would win, they're giving out money to whoever can guess the final score. Plus, we have helmet cam now. Even the dogs are excited.
He fell on his label. Out! Who's what? We are. Of what? Of Bud.
And it's finally time for some Bud Bowl, brought to you by SeaWorld. And Peanuts. And real-life sports announcers. Well, the first kick goes to the moon, so that's not a good sign.
To get on the board early, Bud Light needed a big opener, and they got it. You could drive a beer truck through that hole. It's daylight for Bud Light. They lead it 7-0.
There's some shenanigans of Dry hiding the ball under his label. The camera guys getting distracted and breaking the cameras. Billy and Bobby are from Texas, because of course they are. Light starts out pretty strong, but eventually they end up tying. Then Dry tosses a fucking bomb, which I guess is legal. But a wiser player defies physics and stretches his neck, taking the lead.
Bud laterals to Bud. Bud pitches to Bud. Bud flips it to Ralph. Ralph.
Weiser's band accidentally marches onto the field early, but it doesn't matter because Light goes all the way, winning by 2 points. Now with an established trend, Bud Bowl 4 decided to do something different for whatever reason. I guess to promote the fact that you could win quite a lot of money from this one.
Honey, you see my Bud Bowl ticket?
Yeah, I didn't think it was important. I threw it out.
You what?
So all the commercials instead follow this guy trying to get his ticket. Yeah, seriously. Well, unlike Bud Bowl 3, where the announcer guy was just a big prelude to the actual game, this time we don't even see the bottles play. Weiser wins, of course, but still we don't get to see the game and just follow the guy. We find out that it's the winning ticket at the end and the dog steals it. I mean, there's some funny silliness to it, but it's just too different from the other commercials not having the game. So by Bud Bowl 5, they learned their lesson and gave the series a whole upgrade. With more real people, they nixed the stop motion for just CGI bottles. And announcer Barack Obama tells us that the Weiser team is showing up late because they land a blimp on the field with their coach, the real-life football guy, Joe Namath. I mean, they're just bottles, but the CGI is pretty good for a commercial of the time. But it doesn't have the same charm as the stop motion. And this time around, we have scratch-off ticket rules, and you have to match each number at each ending.
Whoa, this game is slamming!
Traffic, Bud Drive to Superstar Bud Neon Light.
I called that play. Me.
Shake it up, boys.
Weiser team has a jetpack, leading to them taking the lead. And there's a bit of a subplot about beer drivers trying to get to the game that they're late to, which definitely should have been how they presented the guy getting his ticket last time. And the Bud Light coach has a secret remote that turns the truck into a transformer.
It's the Illuminator.
You can't use him.
Well, if you can use a jetpack and earlier they can use a bomb, I'm pretty sure the Illuminator is fine. So he bulldozes through the team, and he's about to go all the way, and he gets grabbed by a claw.
Let Bud Light beat Budweiser? Not.
So with that bit of interference, we get to Bud Bowl 2 logic, and we get another pileup, and Weiser wins by 4. So Bud Bowl 6, they decide to go all out. The Weiser team is now coached by the real-life Mike Ditka.
I love that song.
Bud Light's now coached by the real-life Bum Phillips.
Well, are you just going to stand there or are you going to pick it up?
There's drinking by the players, people watching the beers, drinking beers, balls bouncing on blimps, and it's a completely tied game. Until Weiser uses the Basher, a 40-ounce can. Who gets tossed out of the game for swearing on live TV and being very bashful. Then a hurricane blows through. It's anyone's game again, but the people at the bar need more Weiser. So the blimps get their claws out and literally fly the whole stadium through the TV to the bar. And just like Bud Bowl 1, there's some interference where a guy grabs one of the players a drink, leading to Bud Light's second victory. This is technically the last Bud Bowl because there's 2 more after, but Bud Bowl 7 is just 3 dudes watching the game stranded on an island, crafting it from sand, of course, and it's just clips from Bud Bowl 1, not even the last 2. One of the guys' name is Iggy, and I think he might be Stephen TK from Deadly Games. Maybe?
7-0 lead.
Hey, did you write that down? I want to win that $1 million.
Then Iggy enters the game, and he goes all the way for Budweiser. And it turns out to be all in his head.
What are you going to do now?
I'm going to SeaWorld.
I don't know, man. Iggy's been acting really weird the last month or so.
It's kind of fun, but just not the same. And then Bud Bowl 8, it's like they got a completely different theme. Like we have the POV of one player, but then none of the players are beer bottles, so no, this is not the Bud Bowl. What is going on? What is this shit? There was a sort of one-off revival in 97, but again, it was just the one trailer, which almost looks like a crossover with The Waterboy, and it just tells us the score, and we don't see a game. But for the most part, I thought these trailers were really fun, and apparently a lot of other people did too, because there's a lot of references to the Bud Bowl.
We'll get the Bud Bowl off the air.
Now, I'm not even a fan of American football or beer, but I did think this was pretty charming and fun. It feels ingenious of an idea to actually have the 2 big beers of America competing in America's biggest sport on its biggest game day. It's pretty silly in an old commercial way that I love. So I'm not the target audience at all, but I still enjoyed my time watching these commercials. For the first couple. 7.5 out of 10. But let me know your thoughts down below, as well as hitting the like button, commenting any opinions, and subscribing for new. Hype on mobile is also appreciated.